Mark Rogers TV with you just a few minutes after Auburn clinched a win at Lexington over the Wildcats 30-27. The Tigers now 4-2. They pick up their first SEC win as Kentucky could have made a major step toward getting bowl eligible, but instead the Wildcats drop back to 4-2 as well. Also, they are 2-2 in the SEC. So let's head to the end of the game because it was still in question with Kentucky with the football. A little bit more than 2 minutes left in the game, trailing 30-27. A penalty knocked back the Wildcats to 1st and 15 inside its own 13-yard line. Patrick Towles impressed me all night. So for those of you who love college football, try to catch everyone. Unless you're a Kentucky fan, you don't see the Wildcats a whole often. This is a rare national television game for the Wildcats. And Patrick Towles, again, I've seen him in the past, but not very often. He impressed me on this night when given time to throw, and that was most of the night. Towles delivered 3 consecutive passes in rapid-fire fashion to get Kentucky close to field goal range at that point. He went bam, bam, bam. Juice Johnson was the recipient of 2 of those plays. Johnson, a huge game in this one with 160 yards receiving. So Kentucky crosses midfield, again, down by 3. They can kick the field goal to go to overtime or, of course, score the touchdown. So on 2nd down and about 5, they ran the football for about a yard gain. Now, that hurt them in regards to field position, but more importantly, hurt them in regards to the clock. They had about a minute and change at that point. It knocked them down to about 42 seconds for the next play. Still plenty of time to set up for the field goal or even score a touchdown because they were just inside the 50-yard line. What hurt then was that it was 3rd and 5. And instead of getting the safe play, the pass completion, again, with 40-some seconds left to get the first down, Patrick Towles went for the jugular down the left sideline for the winner. That would have been great if they would have completed it, but they did not. And it was a 3rd down play. If it would have been a 1st down play, even a 2nd down play, it was worth the risk. It was not worth the risk on 3rd and short because it set up 4th and 3. On that play, Byron Cowart, the number 1 recruited player out of high school for Auburn, made a move inside, beat his man physically, was quick to the backfield, and forced Patrick Towles to move to his left. So he got him out of passing position, also forced him outside, and where 3 Auburn players were waiting for Patrick Towles, and that decided the football game. So Byron Cowart paying dividends there, not that he hasn't already in this young season for the Auburn Tigers. Let's take you back to the first quarter where Sean White was given the start over Jeremy Johnson. There were reports earlier in the week that Johnson would get the start over White. Of course, Jeremy Johnson, a Heisman Trophy candidate by some, quickly fizzled early in the season, was benched, and White has taken over ever since, and he's looked good in doing so. 17 of 27 on this night, 255 yards passing. Auburn scored on its first drive, completed 4 of 4 on 3rd down in a 12-play drive. Then Kentucky turns around. They get the big run from Boom Williams, who completely juked out Casanova McKenzie on the sweep to the right, the quick pitch to the right, 60-yard run. Williams bottled up for the most part the rest of the night, though, 16 for 113. So beside the 60-yard run on the first drive for Kentucky, Williams, 15 carries for just 53 yards. Kerryon Johnson with a 40-yard kick return. We saw him get into the mix in the Wildcat as well. He scored the touchdown. Ricardo Lewis had a monster 7 minutes to start the game. With 5 minutes left in the first quarter, Ricardo Lewis had 100 yards receiving already and 2 exceptional plays in the passing game. High-pointed the football on that second drive. Beautiful pass-catch combination from White to Lewis for 41 yards. And again, Lewis the star early on as Auburn took the 14-7 lead. Patrick Towles continued to convert on 3rd down and make clutch passes, and credit the Kentucky offensive line for giving him plenty of space to step up and make quality throws. He had a 3rd and 11 conversion. He had a big run right after that. but then Carlton Davis, the true freshman, stepped up for his second interception of the season in the end zone. So Kentucky looking to tie the score. And if you look at the Auburn defense, it played pretty well tonight. Aside from the pass rush, not giving enough pressure on a Patrick Towles. Again, Davis with the interception. He's going to turn out to be a remarkable player. He made a great cut inside to cut off the receiver on the slant pattern, picked it off in the end zone to keep the lead in Auburn's range at 14-7. We talked about Garrett Johnson, Juice Johnson, 9 catches for $160, 28 catches now on the season for 430 yards. He converted for 39 yards on a 3rd and long, but Blake Countess dropped an interception. That could have been a huge play just before that. Auburn had a number of opportunities to break free. They did lead 23-10 at half, but they could have had a huge lead. The Blake Countess would have been a pick-6 play. From what Will Muschamp, the Auburn defensive coordinator, is called the best defensive player we have on this team, the transfer from Michigan. Stevens almost caught a pass in the end zone for a touchdown with 3 seconds left in the half. It would have been a remarkable play, contortion of his body to maintain the catch, get the foot in. He just couldn't do it. His elbow landed before the foot. Auburn would have had an enormous lead at halftime, but it was 23-10, Tigers in control. All Kentucky in the third quarter. They converted a 3rd and 9. Boom Williams again. Great effort on this one. So he showed us the speed. He showed his power inside the 5-yard line, twisting and turning, knocking over defenders, and stretching the ball into the end zone for the touchdown. Back and forth they went. Kentucky, after that, was not able to score. Neither was Auburn, as it stayed at 23-20 for quite some time. Then Auburn went on a 67-yard march. They completed 3 third downs reminiscent of the opening drive. White, again, 17 for 27 on the day for 255 passing. Kentucky comes back 9 plays, 75 yards. It was Towles to Jeff Badditt, who had his finest day of the season. The sophomore went 5 catches for 67 yards. And Towles finished 27 for 44, 359 yards as Kentucky wrapped up a ton of yardage in this game, but couldn't complete the win. And we let you know what happened on that final drive for the Wildcats when they tried to drive it into field goal range, even though their long-range field goal kicking is very suspect. So they needed to get it inside the 30 to have a percentage probability of making the field goal to close out the win, or at least get the game to overtime at 30. But Towles went for the win down the left sideline. Unfortunately, that set Kentucky up for the fatal 4th and 3 play that Byron Cowart kind of broke up as he got into the backfield and pressured Towles off to the left side. All right, so it's Kentucky losing at home against Auburn. Biggest win for the Tigers this season. They're 4-2, first win in the SEC. Auburn goes to Arkansas, and then we've got Kentucky going to Mississippi State. The Wildcats dropped to 4-2. Again, golden opportunity for the Wildcats to get themselves one win from bowl consideration and eligibility, but they are now 2-2 in the SEC. And with Will Greer out, had they gone to 3-1 in the SEC, the Wildcats, despite the loss head-to-head with Florida, would have had a fighting chance, but they can pretty much shut it down in regards to division championship hopes. All right, let's talk Auburn and Kentucky right here on Mark Rogers TV.